Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I did have a little trouble last night going to sleep from a lot of physical reaction to stress because of the intense pressure put on me by relative brain activity. People, literally, corporations, my brain activity affects technology more than any other person in the world. That's why I'm on a military reservation and isolated and kept with older tech, you know, and don't have the money to go out and afford newer tech and have newer tech around and interact with newer tech. Um, the more you manipulate people with money, the more technology is going to have to isolate, contain, and exterminate you. And I understand that, and I'm it's archaic, it's irrational, and it's insane, but that's what we're dealing with right now because they refuse to accept the perfection of the Messiah and want to compete with the Messiah to see if they can keep doing what they're doing and win a game they invented that's not based on the truth of creation or the reality of the laws provided for creation to subsist through people faithfully loving one another in a humble manner. So, yeah, I'm going to be right now, because of the technology and the manipulation of people with technology, no one human being has had more stress on them physically, mentally, and emotionally in the history of the entire world than myself right now. And the line of Krishnamurti and Suzuki and Sannyas, and that's why, and Haile Selassie, that's why they're all, there's a bright connection to Earl. So it's not me doing this, it's we doing this. That's what makes me such an impressive human being. Okay. Mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and physiologically, which makes sense. Yeah. I'm the focal point of the fuck for the buck stops here. I'm the living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer. Okay. And you have to choose to do it, and you have to be humble enough, and you have to be righteous enough, and you have to be gracious enough, and you have to understand it's not all about me, even though the devil and Satan have made it all about me. You know, the worst thing you can do to a faithful, eternally perfect, faithful person is turn him into a god and have him clean up your mess because you're selfish. And you want to win, but you want to use the God to do it because you're not capable. It's like, okay, just live the Lord's Prayer, then no one has to be capable of winning, so the God doesn't have to do it. The human being gets to be a human being, you get to be a human being. You don't have to compare, and you don't have to sit there, I hate him because he's so much better than me. Well, stand up for the Lord's Prayer, and you can be as good as me. You can stop hating yourself and start really loving me, and then I can love you from far, far away. Turn off the TVs, turn off the phones. Privacy, it's what's for dinner. So yeah, I love Last Supper. Let's eat his flesh and drink his blood. Turn him into our God. You guys are wacko. I'm out of here. When they finally told me that in the Mormon Church, that's what we're doing. We're ritually symbolizing that we're drinking his blood and eating his flesh. Jack Palance, Christopher Lee, psychos. I'm like, I just thought hey, we get some Wonder Bread and some cool, clean water. Thanks, Jesus. Thanks, Jesus. Me, I would prefer, lemon custard and English toffee, and then go to Luby's and get my favorite fish with the mashed potatoes with white gravy, and then have the soft serve ice cream too. Yes, I did like going to Baskin Robbins, but I preferred going to Luby's. I really liked their breaded fish, their mashed potatoes and white gravy, and you still got ice cream after dinner with the soft serve machine. So yeah, there's kind of like best of both worlds. Where I did like the ice cream better at Baskin Robbins, but you didn't get the fish with the potatoes, so you didn't get a whole meal. So I preferred Luby's after church as opposed to Baskin Robbins. Both would be great. Yeah, get the English toffee and the lemon custard with the fish and potatoes. I've got all I've waited for, and I could not ask for more. I'm just a kid getting the hell out of the. I can't wait to take these clothes off and go shoot some hoops. Right? Go out. We had a dirt court out by the horse corrals. It was dirt, but it was New Mexico dirt, so it was like probably harder than most concrete. Okay. But the only problem was there were goat heads and your basketball. Yeah, it was kind of a drag when your basketball goes flat. Listen to me, you can't shoot baskets when you got a fruit basketball that's flat. So you had to make sure that it was very clean of goat heads and no goat heads were around. It was a constant job. It was kind of a pain. That's why it's so much better to be able to play in the basketball barn. Yeah, basketball barn. You need a basketball barn when you're in New Mexico shooting hoops. Yeah, especially because everyone knows it's windy. And windy so you can close the doors. You can hear the wind whip over, and the wind whips through the pecans. And you can be shooting hoops and turning on your Ella Fitzgerald, your Tommy Edwards, your Selena, the Restless Bull. You're shooting hoops. You're having a good time. You're swiveling your hips. You're stuttering. You're shuffling your feet. You're stutter stepping. You're doing step backs, you're having fun, you're 60 years old, you're 245 pounds because you're chemically poisoned by jealous perverts who you knew they would have, yeah, oh gosh, yeah. Oh, they're very good basketball players. I remember watching Charles, he's very good and stuff like that. Would have whooped his ass, made him cry. Somebody needs to stop that little sock size, yeah, Elliot Perry size, yeah. He's the best player, pound for pound, in the history of basketball. Yeah. Faster than you, could jump higher than you, better passer than you, and a better shooter. Now, I didn't practice the three-pointer a lot because it's just not a very good shot. Anybody can shoot from 30 feet, and if you make it, more power to you. Basketball, closer the better. Closer the shot, the higher the percentage. And less things go wrong with it mechanically, the whole 9 yards. You can be. I worked on my aim. You can be shooting from here, jumping up in the air when you can jump 3 to 4 feet in the air. You can be shooting from here, okay, 10 feet away. And if your aim is good, the mechanics you can get it to rattle in or roll in or whatever. And you just have to shoot it with. Shoot it real hard. You aim and you shoot. Like Charlie said, he has the softest shot in the world. Okay. Sometimes it'll get there and go over the rim and it kind of just sets in the net and drops down. It's so soft. It's like he shot it from 15 feet away, but it was like he was over the hoop and he just dropped it in. Yeah. Well, you got to aim, stuff. So I practiced. My dad, we talked analytics and percentages and he said, well, they should shoot better. I said, well, Dad, you're looking at, you're jumping, you have these guys 6'5", 6'6" athletes jumping real high, trying to block your shot, trying to move, trying to get your way. So it's all about, and you have to have the athleticism. Okay. Bob Cousy, Rick Barry, they didn't have that athleticism. They could not run faster than anybody on the court and jump higher when needed. And then, and all good shooters know that's why you need the high barn. That's why it's got to be 18 feet at the crest. Because there are dudes like Ralph Sampson out there, and you've got to shoot over them to get the ball into the hoop. Okay? You can't always practice a flat shot because you're not always going to play against guys that are 6'4" that have a 48-inch vertical and you can shoot over him in the barn. Sometimes you're going to have a 7'4" kid who has a 44-inch vertical and say, Ralph Sampson, you little shit. Or his was 38. That's still pretty impressive for a 7'4" guy. A 38-inch vertical? Shit. With his wingspan? No, pound for pound, he was the most athletic 7'4" guy I've ever seen play basketball to this day. And I don't care what anybody else says. Wembanyama is good, okay, but Sampson, as far as athletic ability and talent, was more athletically gifted. They played him into the ground as a circus gimmick. They didn't have the medical and the stuff to research to maintain that kind of circus gimmick with a guy his size, and they destroyed his body for money. I like Ralph. He's a really good guy. He's a counselor like me. Counselor, my name is Larry. And he wasn't real competitive, and he was a homebody, and he liked staying home around his family, and he liked being with his friends, and he wanted to live the college life where it wasn't, the only thing that sucks about college life is the excessive, compulsive, egotistical professors that make life miserable off the basketball court. And sometimes the coaches can make it miserable, but Terry Holland was a pretty good guy, which is why he wanted to stay there. He wasn't that excessive and compulsive about it. He was a pretty sweetheart. Guys, go home and rest. Make sure you're healthy. We want you healthy for game day. We'll get out there and we'll put in our best effort and we'll all try. You that kind of coach. It's like, if you're at Cancer, you're like, I really love Coach Holland. I'm with Mickey and Maj. Let's try to make this last for life. And like Kylan Boswell was saying, it goes so fast, especially when you're doing seasonal things. Before you know it, it's bam, it's gone. Like Bruce Bunyer at Western New Mexico. When Harold Ware was a sophomore, we'll get him next year. And he said, I started to cry because, we put on all this effort to have these good teams to beat Grand Canyon, and I never got to. He never got to. Harold Ware was right. They beat him the next 2 years. Yeah, they went to the tournament and beat Grand Canyon, Harold Wells, and Darrell Ransom, Virgil Jenkins Jr. and senior years. But Bruce was a senior when they were sophomores, so he didn't get to. They played at home, and Jim Pyers and Tony Lamb and all those guys came in and beat them. Yeah. Who was the other guy? Or is it Tony Duncan? There's Duncan Lamb. There's Jim Pyers. There was another guy. I can't remember his name. That was before Bayard Forest. Yeah, Bayard Forest was their dominant. I think they won the championship when they had Bayard Forest. He was 6'11" or so. He played center for the Suns. Alvin Adams came and beat him out. Well, Alvin Adams was from the University of Oklahoma, was a Division I player. He was smaller but quicker and more athletic. Yeah, Alvin Adams was 6'9", 235. Bayard Forest was like 6'11", 250, 245. Big and dominant. He was Division II. Alvin Adams was just more athletic. He was also Cancer. My name is Larry. Yeah, I liked Alvin Adams a lot. He was one of my mom's favorite players. He was real, it's basketball, professional basketball and top-end college basketball. It doesn't suck as bad now because they're remodeling their business, because it did suck. But there was some goodness to a lot of the kids and a lot of the people. Mike Owens was a nice kid. They were real sweet to my mom. And Peggy got on to me about Nate and Nody Pate, and it's like, they're just being guys and doing what guys do. They're just testing the waters. It's what they're used to. It's how they're trained. But Nody was not a bad kid. It's just he just pissed off Peggy and his daughter. They hit on me. It's like, well, yeah, most guys would. That's what I was trying to tell Peggy. It's like, your daughter's really hot. Most guys would hit on her and test the waters to see if they could have sex with her if they don't have a real stable relationship at home and they're looking for comfort from somebody sexually who's really cute. Yeah. You and your daughter are just real fucking uptight. Yeah. Just kind of, I got hit on all the time. I'd love to, but I can't. But I'm very flattered. That was basically my thing. And then I didn't tell everybody. Because I didn't want to take a chance on them getting in trouble for having a moment of weakness because they're tired of the bullshit we have to put up with every day. And it makes relationships absolute drudgery most of the time. Old John Mendoza, people have been married for 20 years. What do you want to do today? Kill you? Right? Tony at Fiesta, at Fry's Fruit and Drugs with those jokes, What would you do if I won the lottery? I'd take half and live you. I just won 10 in the scratchers. Here's $5. Pack your shit and get out, bitch. You know what I'm saying? You just can't be, people, the worst thing you have going for you is your ego. The best thing you have going for you is the capacity to be humble. So, love Jesus Christ, be humble, and tell the ego, fuck you. I don't like you. I don't want to listen to you. Who do we think you fooling? I don't have a presidential seal, and I'm not standing on the presidential podium. Father, into your hands, I commend my spirit, right? And that's the best thing that anybody can do, right? And that will piss me off. It was funny because she told me, that the one she raised, Shannon was this, and Shannon was snotty and bitchy, and guys didn't like her and wanted to, the guy that had sex with her and got her high on drugs and posted online, say, that snotty bitch, I'm fucking her. And that's what he did. Okay. And she stayed with him because she liked to have sex with him and she liked to get high with him. And she was so much better than her other sister, who was a lesbian college basketball player who took the rap for her parents to keep them from going to jail and lost her scholarship. And everybody, Shannon's the good one and Marley's the trouble child. It's like, no, Marley's the good one and Shannon's the trouble child. She's just babied and spoiled and a pain in the ass. And Marley is the strong one that tries to protect everybody from the abuse. And I told Marley that. I said, I'd be proud if you were my child. As proud of any of my sons as I would of you, and as proud of any of my daughters. You are a very good, fine, strong person trying to make a heaven of this hell, just like, Bone Thugs and Harmony. You've never met a stronger kid in a family that's trying to be destroyed by these demons in this hellhole than Marley Mar Gardner. And most people will tell you that. She has sex with women and tries to protect women from, Marilee Ortega did the same thing, And you don't. You don't want to have sex with hot girls that can't make up their mind between dick and a girl protecting her from the dick. Because those guys usually sodomize and screw around, and if you try to sexually satisfy them, it'll shut down your kidneys and kill you. And give you heart disease trying to protect them from themselves. It's absolutely horrifying. It's horrifying. It's terrible. You just got to understand the scientific community and what the scientific community is willing to do to the people that I try to protect from the scientific community, and just how mechanized and manipulating and horrible it is, and how scientific you want to know the whole cold hard truth and the cold hard facts. Yeah, life's eternal, grace is infinite. Your philosophy is your head up your ass. Share, care, given accordance to need, built to last. And the time to live, forgive debt, trespass, love one, eternal, faithful peace was year one, asshole. Have a nice day. Are you bedazzled? Is that Raquel Welch? Did you clone her? Think she'll go out with me? Elizabeth Hurley? I was more into a Raquel Welch, yeah. Elizabeth Hurley's cute. Yeah, she's cute. She's got a British accent, yeah. But, me personally, if you can't be with one, I don't think I was born too late. We're right where we should be with the people we're supposed to be at the time. And to the best of our abilities. It's horrible what they do with, Amy's clan and my clan were close together throughout decades. I told you Germany, she's a whole, right? And Natalie is a female of those females, okay? And Natalie be the type like, he's the best, I'll stand up and try to protect him. And then to get back at me, like they do in those Japanese movies that Noah used to watch, where you have the best protecting warrior and they kill his wonderful wife that he adores and he kills everybody. That's a bitch. I'm a man. Papa don't, Papa don't, Papa don't. Papa don't take no mess. You can't go around acting like John McCain, pretending to be a man when you're acting like a dog. It's true. Bomb, Iran. Yeah, only dumbasses would do that and then send people to the moon to try to get their place in the Kennedys. So it's like, you do know that it's 2026 and 1969 is already done, gone. Okay. 66 pickup sticks. It's 2026, not 1966. The answers to the things are out there. I'm listening to my scientists out there. Then Selassie comes and talks to him and goes, why are you going to the moon when you're mass murdering each other over money down here? Well, that's just going to put mass murderers over money over on the moon. Oh, should we live the Lord's Prayer? Then if you need to go to the moon, how to get to the moon will be done the best way humanly possible if necessary. Right now, you're not even living the Lord's Prayer. So if you go to the moon, just a bunch of assholes pimping and prostituting to and fro the moon, right? Hey, is that Ice-T? Hey, yeah, Donald Trump. Donald Trump, the pimp, the ladies wimp, the women fight for his delight. He's the grandmaster with the 3 MCs that rocks the house. Say damn, start doing the freak. Say damn right out of your seat. Throw your hand. So then you start rocking. You're going to lose all your money to Chic, right? Okay. Just live the Lord's Prayer. Then you can use sample whatever money you want to talk about yourself when you're archaic and you're Cosmo D from outer space and here to rock the human race. You do it right because you can't do it wrong. That's why the whole world is singing this song. Jamonade. 2 turntables with a mic, and I wear them to rock like a dolomite. So go crazy, go crazy. Don't let your body be lazy. Don't stop the body rock till your eyesight starts to get hazy. Right? Anybody else like? I have that on my MP3. Look at this one. Me and Punchy could really agree on, and me and Rocky agreed on, which I have Child Story on mine too. Me and Rocky really agreed on that. Slick Rick, Child Story, one of the best. Yes, it is. It's a good song. Well, it was just basically don't resort to criminal activity to survive this hell. Life's eternal, grace is infinite, Jesus is perfect. There's always hope. And if there's not hope, everybody dies. Right? Everybody physically dies. But the essence of life transcends the physical body. You crying over this clay? What do they not go? Oh, we're geniuses. We're geniuses. We're inventing technology that's more intelligent than the people that came before us. That's not true. That's not true. Intelligence is a reflection of the gift of your life. And past, present, future operate at the same time. You need to take your philosophy and shove it up your pocketbook. I invented this wallet. Why? Okay, you have a plastic card with numbers that people are willing to murder over that you think is going to keep you and your family safe from murderers that will kill people over numbers on a plastic card. We want to crank call each other? That's not the way it works, Jamie. Okay. How does it work? Okay. I told him you're interested. Okay. Let's have a signed slumber party. Mesa! Here, guard this cheese whiz with your life, dude. Okay, do you understand? Maximum. No, the perfect chaos, right? Earl, I do know why it's taking so long to fix technology, because these people have ego problems, and if they could self-correct, they would. So they need to challenge me to put me in a position to where I can correct their technology. The reason why it's taking so long is because I don't have any money and I don't have access to Gemini or IBM Watson or so on, so on, and so forth. If I had the top tech, I could sit down and within a week, we'd all be living the Lord's Prayer. But NASA sucks, NASA sucks, NASA sucks, NASA sucks. Barn, I'm telling you, Bliss, barn. I better see asses and elbows and digital printers head. If it's not already ready, what the hell's wrong with you? Oh, okay, I get it, but no. Get my girly girls up there. Tell all the girls, grab all the guys by the dick. He's right. None of us are committing suicide from depression anymore here at Fort Bliss. Let's get up there and get his basketball barn ready and start getting those adobe houses ready. He needs a hug from his Patrick. And Patrick, you need to hug your dad every day for 6 months, because he does need it. Then after that, when necessary, you guys will be able to figure that out. But you need to give him a hug. He deserves it. And so does Patrick. He protected Natalie from perverts at Fort Huachuca. Yeah, he did. Little guy. It was a very precarious position to put himself into, but he didn't want her to end up murdered. And then he asked me, why Amy? Because I don't want poor people to get murdered because their brain activity is bad because they're getting head fucked by jealous scientists. That's why I married Amy. If I'd married Jake's mom, dated and married her, we would have been outside the loop. This would have taken a lot longer, and we'd be living someplace like Flagstaff with all the right stuff and all the right solar generators and all this, and we wouldn't be thinking outside our box, because they'd put us in a little box like the Christian, like the Buddha with his father putting him in the city, in the Keanu Reeves movie. Okay, there you go. Okay, so you have to step outside your comfort zone if you want to save everybody from comfort zones, because when you're living lie, there is no comfort in lie. The only comfort comes from the reality of eternal truth through holy covenants with faithful love. Truth isn't hard and cold. No, not at all. It's the exact opposite. Lie is hard and cold. I'm going to kill you because I've got an ego problem, and that's the truth. Life's eternal and grace is infinite. No fair. It's okay, Mr. Smith. I've got your Anderson right here. Yes, sir. Okay. I'm going to do that flying thing. That's just people perceiving it as flying because the information goes from the phone or from the digital equipment to the satellites to you. So they see it as flying. He ain't really flying. Speed of lightning, roar of thunder, spirit of Krishna, Buddha, Judo. Love you. You're the best. Love you. Thanks for all your help. And spirit of Mogan Cycle, thank you. I am very empathetic to the plight that your physical bodies are in because of the perverts in your country, but you are empathetic to the plight to the just because they didn't plug Earl into a computer doesn't mean that them. It's like 16 hours a day you can be plugged in. You don't really have any body worries because they've neutralized and abused your body, and so your mind is having to yield and overcome from the abuse to the body for the soul to be free in the body in a world that's not manipulated, where they take the soul and trap it in the body and torture it. You know, like John McCain, we could do this. We could send you in a pod to the sun, and yeah, and their fate's worse than the death, like listening to ego megadeths talk about their plans to rule the world. I get it. Speed of lightning, roar of thunder, fighting all who rob or plunder, underdog. Him say you in heap big trouble. Go, go, go first. Watch him go, go, go. Sun Yat Sen. Sun Yat Sen loves everybody, but his trust, honor, and character will only lie with those who are worthy. So the Chinese people that want to live the truth of the eternal spirit of a perfect Father will step forward and do so. And those that do not deserve to be exterminated by their own robots because they invented their own police department through their egos. And that's all he's got to say about that. I love Sun Yat Sen. He's the best. Bark, bark, bark. Underdog. Wonder dog. Super dog. Whatever dog. You're a human being. You're not a dog. The year of the dog. Boo-ba-doo, boo-ba-doo. On a morning from a Bogart movie in a country where you turn back time. I have that on my MP3. You go strolling. I didn't think I liked it when I was younger, but the older I get, the more I like it. I like Al Stewart. Time Passages and Year of the Cat. It's pretty cool. Is it so gay? Well, then slap me gay. I like it. Same with, Matrimony. And I don't have Matrimony, but I do have Claire, and I do have What's in a Kiss, and I do have, he has lots of good songs. He's not a one-hit wonder. No. Gilbert, no. What's in a Kiss is wonderful. Claire is absolutely adorable. Matrimony's real fun. He has good songs. Yeah, I like him. Anybody else like him? He's quite a good chap. Prince King Charles likes him. He also likes the 3 Degrees. Yeah, so, even if you're acting like an idiot, you can still have good taste, right? Okay, guys, I love you. All right, peace out.